Good morning, everybody. I hope we're all doing well. So this talk will be about where can an ANU Bachelor of Arts take you? And we'll be joined by the Professor Ray Francis, who is the Dean of the college, and also Ashley O'Toole, who will also be speaking. Professor Ray Francis is a very impressive person, and it's a delight to have her on. So give it up for Professor Ray.
Thanks very much, and welcome everybody to this presentation about the ANU's best degree, the Bachelor of Arts. And before I start, of course, I would like to acknowledge that we, in this room at least, are gathered on the traditional lands of the Ngambri Ngunnawal people, who have taken care of this beautiful place for countless generations. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. And I also acknowledge all the people who are joining us from their lounge rooms, perhaps coffee shops, who knows where, over other parts of Australia and internationally, and welcome you all to this particular presentation. Now, the Bachelor of Arts is the most popular degree at the Australian National University for a very good reason. It quite simply tells you about what it is to be human. And as human beings, in my view, there's nothing more important than us understanding what it is to be human, how humans operate in the world, how we change the world, how we connect with each other, how we shape our future. And there are many wonderful Bachelor of Arts degrees across Australia and internationally, but there are special things about studying a Bachelor of Arts degree here at Australia's National University in Australia's capital. Why does it matter that we're in Australia's capital if you're studying arts and humanities and social sciences? Well, just look across the lake. We have Australia's national parliament. And this is really important because one of our strongest fields of study is political science, another one is history. So if you are interested in how this nation works, you are up close and personal, quite literally. You can go across there and see the politicians and the senior public servants, and you can intern as one of the people who works in the offices of parliamentarians. I just signed off the other day on the latest list of interns, 23 of whom were in the offices of the politicians, including in the offices of each of the new Teal members of Parliament. So you get to go into these parliamentary offices and do a research project alongside the senior bureaucrats and the politicians. But it's not just Parliament that's important in the national capital, it's all the national institutions. Our wonderful National Art Gallery, the National Museum of Australia, the Museum of Australian Democracy, and the Australian War Memorial. And we have close relationships with all those institutions so that our students have placements there, work placements, internships, and even just as a matter of course in your study, you visit those. If you're doing art, you go to the art gallery. If you're a historian, you can go to the National Archives, you can go to the National Library, and not just off your own bat, we take you as part of your studies here in Canberra, and it's something very, very special. The other thing that's special about studying a Bachelor of Arts at the Australian National University is that we are quite simply the best in Australia in terms of arts, humanities and social sciences. And I don't say that just because I'm an incredibly immodest person. I say it because this is how we are ranked by the international rankings in the world. Now those rankings rank all of the universities in the world, and there's at last count something like 15,000 universities in the world. 15,000. And we are ranked number one in Australia, but also a lot of our disciplines are ranked in the top 20. So, for example, our philosophy department is ranked number 3 in the world, just behind, I think, Harvard and Princeton. And we've got a list on the screen. I don't know if people can see them from the back, but you will see that we have archaeology, history, anthropology, all the major areas that we study as arts and humanities scholars are up there among the best in the world. So you have professors who are doing cutting-edge research, and they are connected to the leading developments in their field nationally and internationally. The other advantage of studying a Bachelor of Arts is that you get to interrogate the world of humanity. You get to do the most flexible degree there is at the ANU. And you, as I said, have access to the world's leading academics in their fields. And what I think you need to know about that as well is that you can combine studying arts and humanities with different aspects of arts and humanities, but you can also combine it with other degrees at the ANU. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a little while. You also have the opportunity to study internationally as part of your coursework. So you can do courses for credit that will take you to Europe, to Asia, and you get to work with your academics, both Australian academics from here at the ANU, and often in collaboration with academics from other international universities worldwide. You can do field trips, short field trips to Rome, to Paris. You can go to Gallipoli, you can go to London, or you can go to various parts of Asia, because the Bachelor of Arts includes study from the College of Asia Pacific as well as the College of Arts and Social Sciences. So you can do intensive programs, but you can also go on exchange for a semester or a year at one of our over 100 partners we have internationally. And that study can be credited back to your ANU degree. And in general terms, a Bachelor of Arts brings you incredibly valuable skills. In particular, you learn how to think critically. You learn how to not just accept anything that you encounter on the internet, as so many people seem to be doing these days. You get to be able to evaluate opinions that are expressed, to decide whether there is any evidence base for opinions that are being put forward, to decide what you want to think from a position of knowledge. You get to learn how to communicate, not just to write brilliant essays, and so that will take you on to writing brilliant policy briefs or whatever, but you also get to communicate with your peers and to present orally, which is a very important skill in today's workplace. You also are encouraged to adopt what we call an adaptive mindset, that you become flexible in your thinking, that you're not completely freaked out when you encounter something that is different to what you're used to. We encourage you to think about being comfortable with ambiguity and how you might adapt to change circumstances rather than trying to stick with the narrow way that you might have been brought up with or the way you've learnt to think. You also learn incredibly useful skills of research, whether you be researching on the history of art or the history of music or political science or sociology, or whether you're out digging up things for an archaeological dig or in the archives as a historian. You can learn to find out information and to collate that information, to solve problems and analyse problems. And you can get to communicate that analysis in a clear way to mount a persuasive argument, which again is an incredibly useful skill for life as well as for employment. We also think that studying a Bachelor of Arts at the ANU encourages you to become a global citizen. And that occurs not just through the kind of intellectual encounters you have as part of your study. You get to see the perspective from many different cultures and countries, but you also encounter people from many different cultures and countries, whether it be amongst your cohort here, which includes students from, I think, 150 different countries come to study at the ANU, or whether it's through the people and the ideas that you encounter if you study abroad as part of your degree. Now, when people come straight from high school in particular to university, it can be a bit daunting figuring out how the study works in a degree program at the university. The Bachelor of Arts is actually pretty simple, and it's also incredibly flexible, so you needn't get stressed out about it if you enrol in a particular course as part of your degree and discover that actually that was not what you thought it was going to be, or you found something else that you're much more passionate about. You can change as you go along. What you have to do is complete at least one major and one minor as part of your degree. Now, what that means is a total course of study is 24 courses, which if you're a full-time student, you would do 8 per year over 3 years. A major is 8 courses of study and a minor is 4. So if you did what is a common thing, you would do a major in perhaps say history for argument's sake, because I'm a historian, I'll say that, and you might do a minor in politics. And the quick ones amongst you who can add up will realise that that leaves you 12 courses that are unaccounted for. And you can do those all as electives if you wanted to. So you can do half your degree would be a major and a minor, and the other half would be electives. Or you might choose to do 2 majors, history and politics as majors, and then you could do another minor, but you've still then got some electives to play with. And you look on the screen, you can see those are the most 3 common ways students have historically structured their degrees. The beauty of all of them is that you have quite a few electives to play around with, and that gives you the opportunity to experiment, try things that, you don't know what anthropology is. Well, why not enrol and find out? And you may discover actually that that's your passion. You may never heard of demography, and then you discover actually you can do a whole major in demography, and that's a fascinating study of human population and what that means for societies. So it's not complex. It looks complex when you look at the boxes, but it's actually pretty straightforward. And we have fantastic student advisors that can help you, guide you through how you structure your course. So that's if you're doing a single degree. But you can also do a double degree at the Australian National University. And this is one of the things that we are most known for in terms of what's different about an education at the ANU. We have our flexible double degrees, which means that you can combine a Bachelor of Arts with just about anything at the ANU. And you can combine other degrees with other things. So there's something like 100 combinations you can do if you get really creative. And the beauty of a double degree is that you can complete 2 degrees in less time if you do them simultaneously than if you did them end to end. So usually it takes about a year off the total time. So if you did, say, a Bachelor of Engineering and then a Bachelor of Arts, that would take you a year longer than if you did a flexible double degree that combined those 2 degrees. And there are different groups, as you can see on here, of degrees that fit together, and you can choose from those. I won't go into all the details. You can see that yourself there, and there's plenty of information on the website. But I will say that the Bachelor of Arts is the most common degree to be combined with other degrees, and part of the reason is because it is so flexible. It's easier to fit in to the sometimes more rigid degree structures of particularly professional degrees who have accreditation requirements they have to satisfy. But it also means that if you particularly combine a professional degree with an arts degree, you come out with technical expertise plus a much more well-rounded set of so-called soft skills that you get from your arts degree. Now, the Bachelor of Arts is also distinctive, particularly at the ANU, because it is so diverse. We have over 60 areas of study, and I'm not going to do the PowerPoint karaoke thing and read out all these majors for you. You can see them there and you can look up on our website. And this is only half of them, so there's a whole other page which I'll show you in a second once you've had a chance to absorb that. But you will see that we teach, throughout the alphabet, from ancient Greek, ancient history, and Arabic, right through to war studies. Nothing Z. We should do zoology, I think, yes. But an enormous range of expertise that we have, and our languages are a particularly strong part of what we do, because we teach we do teach 29 different languages at the ANU across this college and the College of Asia and the Pacific. So, and that is very popular, especially for people who are planning to go into international work of some kind or another, whether it be diplomatic work or international business. The other thing about the Bachelor of Arts, despite what you might hear from certain politicians, is that our graduates are incredibly employable. They are very much sought after by business because they have those key qualities of flexibility, research, skills. They are able to communicate better than I am, I hope, and they are much more adaptable in terms of adapting what knowledge they do have to the shifting world of work. And as we all know, the world of work is being transformed at an incredible rate, particularly through automation and AI. And the analysis that's been done of the changing workforce shows that the jobs that are least likely to disappear because of automation are those jobs that require the kind of skills I was talking about before, those really people skills of communication, thinking, analysis, and so on. It's very hard to get a machine to do those kinds of things. So I think that explains why, despite a lot of negative talk about these skills not being valuable, employers still very much like to employ our graduates, and that's shown in the things they say about them, but also in the rates at which our graduates get employed. And you'll see on the screen a few interesting statistics there, that 2/3 of the CEOs from the ASX 200 countries have degrees in humanities and social sciences, as do 62% of senior government executives and 66% of federal parliamentarians. And 10 of Australia's prime ministers have also had degrees in arts, and they were all the good ones. And we've just put a snapshot up there for some of the different kinds of career destinations that our graduates have gone to, which some would be predictable and some not so predictable. So we have Elizabeth Bryan, who has a Bachelor of Arts and is the CEO of Virgin Australia. Not necessarily something you would think is a direct career line. And we have Brodie Warren, who has a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Laws, who now works in The Hague doing work associated with international law. And we have Charlie Sue Frail, who has a Bachelor of Arts, and she is now the Indigenous Programs Manager for the Australian Football League. And in each case, if you talk to those graduates, they will say that the skills they learnt as in their Bachelor of Arts degree have been very important in terms of their ability to do the current jobs that they do. I'm getting the wind-up sign over here. I'm going to talk faster. There are other degree options we have besides the Bachelor of Arts. That's our main degree, but you can also do named degrees, which are more prescriptive in the kinds of courses you have. You have fewer electives, but if you really just want to study criminology or design, you can focus more in on those courses. And now I'm going to hand over to one of our current students, Ashley O'Toole, who is an ambassador for the college, and she's going to talk to you about why she chose to do her degree at the ANU and why this degree. Over to you, Ash.
Wonderful. I think you can hold on to that one.
Yours works, does it?
I think so. All working? All good? All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for making it out here. I really hope that today will be as exciting and illuminating for all of you guys as it was for me 3 years ago. So as I've so kindly been introduced, my name is Ashley. I'm a third-year student studying a double degree. I'm doing a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Law. So in my arts degree, I'm doing an English major and a politics minor. And I've come to Canberra from Adelaide, but I was actually originally born in Canberra and went to school here, so I've really come full circle in that educational journey. And for the last 2 years, I've been living at Wright Hall, which is one of ANU's newest residential colleges. And for all those reasons, ANU really does feel like my home, which is why I'm super excited to talk to you guys today about why I chose ANU, and in particular, why I chose to study arts. So when I was in year 11 and 12 and deciding what degree to choose, I was particularly impressed by the versatility and breadth of the arts degree. I was always a fan of my humanities and social science type classes, so I knew I wanted to look around in that broad area, but I was yet to find a lifelong passion that I was dead set on pursuing, which I'm sure is the case for many of you sitting in this room. I really liked English, history, and politics, and I was also interested in exploring topics like international relations and psychology, which I never had a chance to explore in school. And that's where the Bachelor of Arts came in. There really is no other degree offered at a tertiary level that encompasses so many different fields of study. I have friends doing arts who are studying criminology, music, linguistics, archaeology, and so many other varied courses, all under the one degree umbrella. There's also a lot of overlap between disciplines in the social science field. And this means that you can build a foundation of knowledge that will help you in each successive course you do. An intro to philosophy class might help you understand a theorem from political science, which then might give you the historical context to analyze a text for your literature class. And this was perfect for me because, as I said, I was interested in so many different fields of study. So, for example, I decided to do a politics minor, but tailored my course choices so that they were focused on political history. That way I got some politics, some history, and some philosophy, all in the one course stream. And this just goes to show how the breadth of the arts degree gives you the scope to explore lots of different fields through your elective choice, as Ray was saying earlier. I think university is a chance to discover what you're passionate about, and an arts degree really gives you the latitude to explore subjects that you might not otherwise have imagined loving. For example, I never thought that I would be interested in art history, but I got a taste of it in one of my politics courses, and now I'm planning next semester to take a course in Bauhaus art history. This breadth, I think, really facilitates the development of multiple ways of perceiving and approaching your work. It also means that you don't have to know exactly what you want to study when you first arrive at uni. If you choose a Bachelor of Arts, you can come to uni and choose 4 courses in completely different fields and see what strikes your fancy. University is the place to find yourself, and you shouldn't have to decide your entire future at age 17. An arts degree gives you that flexibility to develop skills that are going to be useful no matter what field you decide to pursue after your tertiary studies. I think my experience in all of my arts courses has proven to me just how passionate the ANU lecturers and tutors are on passing on those foundational skills that are going to be valued in every workplace. One of the reasons I chose to do arts was because I wanted to improve my research and writing skills, and I think that my arts courses have really helped me develop those assets. In that same vein, I've found that my arts degree is a fantastic complement to my law degree. So I'm doing an English major, so a lot of my study involves reading and analysing texts. And it might surprise you to know that this is a skill that I found can be applied to statutory interpretation in my law degree. As someone who's always been interested in activism, I also found that studying political science has complemented my law degree by helping me to understand the political systems through which social progress can be achieved. On the other hand, I felt that some of the ways my arts and law degrees have complemented each other most is in their differences. I really appreciate how, for example, my English courses allow me an avenue of creativity that is sometimes lacking in law. For example, I recently had to write a creative response to a Shakespearean play, and I chose to write that response in an extended sonnet form. And that's a kind of creative liberty I could never take in, say, my contracts classes. But it was really enjoyable and a fantastic chance to challenge myself by exploring a form I wasn't comfortable in. One of the other things I like most about my arts degree is that I'm put into contact with so many interesting people. I think more so than my other degree, the arts cohort is filled with people from such diverse backgrounds in terms of culture, interests, and fields of expertise. I could sit down in a politics class and find myself talking to a music major or a gender studies major who was taking politics as an elective or just because it was something that they were very interested in. And this makes for fascinating discussions in class because there are so many different perspectives. Unlike in high school, you're very likely to be in classes with people in different year levels. They might even be doing master's or postgrad study. And that diversity of perspective really comes out. I think it's great to be able to chat to people who've had more experience than you doing courses in certain fields, especially when everyone is so willing to share their expertise and knowledge and understandings. Another particular drawcard of the Bachelor of Arts for me was the availability of external opportunities. And you've heard a bit from Ray about that just now. Our location in Canberra places us at the heart of Australian diplomacy, politics, and the artistic and cultural communities. Here you can see your arts degree put into action, whether that be dining at the Press Club or visiting the latest National Gallery curation. The ANU has partnerships with NGOs, Parliament, and embassies that are exclusive to Canberra, giving you one-of-a-kind internship opportunities through your arts degree. I myself have had the fantastic opportunities to intern at the Centre of European Studies and work as a research assistant for one of the associate professors. And that's led to opportunities to interact with diplomats from countries around the world, to visit embassies and talk to fascinating researchers. To wrap up, I just want to thank all of you for coming to Open Day and taking what I hope will be your first step on your ANU journey. And I hope to see you all around campus in the very near future.
So thank you, Ray, for that fantastic presentation. Up next, we'll be getting a talk from the Business and Economics College. So that'll be presented by Bronwyn Whiting. Beautiful.
We come from all across Australia and from all corners of the earth. We come because we are called to face the complex challenges of a changing world. We come seeking space to discover and to imagine a nation's future. We come to a global capital, to a hub of progress, to the heart of change. We come to meet each other and to meet tomorrow for tomorrow's sake. We come because we are called to define our futures at the meeting place.
Are you thinking about moving away from home to come to ANU? I did, and today I want to show you around so you can see why I love it so much. This is Canberra, the central hub of the uni, and it's a great place to grab a coffee on the way to a lecture. Now I want to show you the Ambush Gallery. They often put on exhibitions of student art here, and the exhibition opening nights are always a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you along the residential halls of Daly Road. Because I moved to Canberra from Queensland, I found it such a relief that ANU has an accommodation guarantee for all incoming first year students. Also, as you can see, there are so many great accommodation options to choose from. Hope you've enjoyed the tour today. Make sure you get online and apply now.
Do you want me to show you what a typical day at ANU looks like? Let's go. The best thing about ANU is the campus is everything you need. We've got a club line, which is an amazing gym. We've got the libraries and Student Central, which are great places if you need support. And most of all, we've got chart time. The class sizes are really small here, which makes it so much easier to get one-to-one support. Well, there's a lights festival on tonight called Enlighten, so I reckon I'm going to head there. So I'll see you in a couple hours and I'll show you around. Hope you enjoyed the day. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next year.
Hey, I'm Sammy and I'm a student at ANU, and I want to tell you why I moved to Melbourne to start uni and then moved back to go to ANU. Basically, I'm from Canberra, I grew up here, and I decided to move to Melbourne when I was 19 to start uni because I just wanted to change and to experience big city life.
But actually what I found was big city life was really overwhelming and really not a great environment for studying. And ultimately I decided to move back. When I decided to move back, the application process was actually super easy. I just applied like I usually would and used my marks from my last year in Melbourne.
There's so much to do here, like everything that you want to do in a big city you can do in Canberra, but everything here is just so much more accessible. I kind of wish that someone had just told me that earlier because Canberra's incredible and I kind of don't know why I left in the first place.
Do the winters get easier? No. Alright, let's do it. I'm Jack, I study PPE, I'm from Rockhampton, Queensland. What surprised you the most when you moved to Canberra? I would say like maybe how convenient everything is. Got kind of like a big city vibe, but in like a small city kind of layout. So it's easy to kind of get around everywhere. What was the hardest part about leaving home? It wasn't anything like homesickness or anything like that for me. I don't know, I mean, I really liked it. Do the winters get easier? Well, I'll tell you what, they were a lot easier when I was in college and we had heating in the rooms. They'd probably get easier because you're more prepared for them. That's probably the positive outtake here.
We come from all across Australia and from all corners of the earth. We come because we are called to face the complex challenges of a changing world. We come seeking space to discover and to imagine a nation's future. We come to a global capital, to a hub of progress, to the heart of change. We come to meet each other and to meet tomorrow for tomorrow's sake. We come because we are called to define our futures at the meeting place.